Gosh, can you believe it? I was naming everybody that I'd had on. I forgot about Tony. We all love Tony and that Norma Rose, who was our bestest friend. We got to try to get her, but we're tickled to have you on and tell us a little bit about your journey to what you're doing now. I know you started in education.
I did. I started in the classroom. I come from a family that has a lot of educators in it. My wife was a teacher for 30 years. My sister, Charmaine, was as well. My wife's sister, and we all have on both sides of the family educate. We're like circus families. That's what it is. It's one after another. It's like he's a fire eater. He's the one without the eyebrow, so that's what he does. So we were all educators, but I always had that little itch. I wanted to perform. My mother was always very funny. There were people in my family who were just naturally funny. And I was the youngest of three, Jane. And when you're the youngest, and I was the only boy. Are you? And we get a lot of attention, right?
We don't get nothing, even the dirty pacifier. First one's sterilized, second one's, well, doesn't look too dirty. The third one, just cram it in her mouth and shut her up.
Oh, I heard Seth Meyers one time talking about it. He says that third kid has learned from the other two. And he said, they are so advanced. He said, they're out. He says, you make your kids a smoothie. He said, by the time you got your third kid, they're making their own smoothie. They're climbing up on a stool with bananas, and they're using a blender that they bought with their own money because they have their own job. So,
that's hilarious.
It's kind of true. But I also got a lot of attention from my sisters and all because so I thought I was probably funnier than I was. So finally, one day when I was already in teaching, I wanted to go on stage, and I started doing stand-up. And I did stand-up in little clubs doing competitions, and then I began to work as an opener and sometimes middling. And I didn't tour a whole lot, but I did a whole lot of local events. And so that led to an opportunity to get on radio. And so they brought me on as a weekly guest, and I would go do about 5 minutes of comedy with one of the drive time radio programs. And then I go off and teach my classes. And so I met a fella, Phil Sorrentino, and he had a company called Humor Consultants, and he developed training and keynotes for organizations to help make work more fun. And so we met through the radio, and he said, Dave, you do what I do. You make people laugh and you help them learn. And that's what we're all about. And he said, maybe if there's something that I can't do, you could. So that was the start of the journey. And I have absolutely, it just scratches every itch that I have because I want to perform. I love the laughter, but I also want to impart content. I want people to come away going, hey, that really helped me cope. That helped us improve our workplace culture. So it's been great. It's been a wonderful journey.